Hi, Miss Peaches. We got hung up.
I did not hang up. I told you to slow down, and I told you were cutting out,
Sorry
and
about
you
that.
kept going, and then it went, and it went beep, beep, beep. And then I looked at it, and you were disconnected, so I called you back.
All right. Yeah, I didn't hear that part. I'm sorry. I was busy rambling.
No, it's okay. Well, if you were cutting out that bad, then it stands to reason that whatever I was trying to say was cut out as equally bad. I don't know.
Yes, ma'am. Well, there's no guarantee of that. I might not have heard you just because I was rambling, but most of the time I'm pretty good about listening to people. However, if they're talking at the same time as me, I don't hear them. That's the
That makes
thing.
sense.
See, I needed those days in court. I fought hard to get those days in court. You know that. Tabby knows that. Graham knows that. Aunt B knows that. Laura Nelson knows that. I was trying to get an honest day in court, and I tried showing evidence to get that. I started trying to show evidence before Natalie was even fucking killed. It was the lack of fucking police cooperation that resulted in me having to do those things to defend myself so I could see my loved ones. Like, don't get me wrong, being able to go and see you once in a great while was nice, but there's a lot of loved ones that I couldn't see. And when I went to see you, it was under extreme circumstances. And, like, I try to speak up and I try to speak up, but I know that if I'm pushy about it, then people get pissed off. So then when I try and I try and I try and I try and it doesn't happen, I eventually just give up and sit in the corner and hope that when they have time, they'll come talk to me. When I get pushy, people become assholes. But the problem is, if I'm not pushy, they just blow me off and blow me off and blow me off. And that's what Tabby did, and that's what Graham did. I mean, between Tabby, Graham, and Josh, I paid them pretty close to $2,000 for the month and a half that I stayed there. And a lot of that was Josh. Like, Tabby asked me not to give him any more money for alcohol. So he's like, could I get some weed? Hey, you're staying under my roof. You're staying under my roof. You're staying under my roof. I did tell Tabby. I did tell her that. And she kept on doing the whole I love him thing. But I love him, but I love him, but I love him. That's the thing. They keep throwing it in my face that my stuff is still in their garage. It wouldn't still be in their garage if I'd have gotten an honest day in court. And all they had to do was speak up. But they didn't. And then they want to play victim because I'm fucking calling them out for fucking lying. If it takes them 2 weeks to write a report, that's understandable. If it takes them a month, Tabby's a parent, that's understandable. But it's been well over a year since the both of them said that they would. I took Graham with me to those places because he said he'd be a witness. He fucking lied outright, and that's the thing, is that I called them out, so they're not going to be honest. And I already know that, because I've already dealt with it with many people. But at the same time, I wouldn't have had to call them out if they'd have kept their fucking word. Same thing with Ken and Leah. And it doesn't matter that there's reasons that they couldn't keep their word. It matters that the outcome was the same, and that needs to be mentioned. That needs to be brought up. I don't think that Tabby and Graham were out to steal all my money. I'm not trying to say any sort of crazy shit like that. Ken and Leah were. They for surely were. I mean, Leah every day is talking about the stuff that she needs to buy, and that stuff's coming in the mail, which means they had plenty of money to spend, but they couldn't pay me my money back. I also got Tabby recorded saying that Leah was selling ecstasy and that Gabriel got a hold of it. I mean, I'm trying hard here, ma'am. I need people to understand that I do need them to come forward, and I do need them to tell the truth, and I'm pissed off legitimately. And if they want to be pissed off at the things that I did to protect us, they can kiss my ass. The best thing to do in this situation was to make it as vocal as possible. And that kept everyone safe. Like, literally, everybody who typed to defend me at the very beginning, they put themselves all at risk, not even understanding that. And I was trying to keep it private and trying to get people to go in with me and talk with me in private and one-on-one. And because they couldn't do that, I needed to do drastic things to protect my loved ones. And you know what? A lot of them were pissed off at that drastic shit I had to do. And I don't care if they hate me as long as it keeps them safe. You know?
Yeah.
I'm sorry for all the shit that I had to do. But at the same time, I can't say that I'm sorry. Because I have to continue to do those things. I don't like that. I fucking hate that. I hate having to fucking yell at people. I hate that everybody blows me off when I'm quiet, when I'm asking nicely. They don't even realize there's a problem. And then when I'm freaking out, they're assholes to me because I'm freaking out. Like, come on, guys. I've been spending fucking the last 2.5 years trying to get people to listen and fucking put a stop to this shit. I mean, the very first officer that I talked to about this was in Chesapeake, Virginia. Refused to take my report. The second one to refuse to take my report was in Boulder. I don't even know his fucking name. He was just a street cop. I'm like, dude, people are threatening to kill me. And then there was the officers in Chapel. I mean, fuck, you know, I just wanted to see my loved ones. The only two people in town that I had that I could go see. What? The only two people. The only two people in town that I had that I could go visit, they were almost constantly negative at the time. I mean, Aunt B was always negative and always talkative because she's got rheumatoid arthritis and she takes meds for it. So then she'd be negative for, you know, half hour, 45 minutes straight. And then she'd say, oh, I got to stop being so negative in Jesus' name. And then another 30 minutes of negativity. And then I got to stop being so negative in Jesus' name. And I'm like, fuck, Aunt B, please fucking stop and listen, please. She was trying to help. She really was. She was just... She used to do this for a living, you know? She's the one that I learned to save lives from. But it's different with all the medications she's on and the blood thinners and the... It's so fucked up. Like, she's not even Aunt B anymore. She just... It hurts. But at least she told me she was having problems keeping it straight in her head. And, you know, she apologized a lot for talking over me so much. That's the thing, is that I need to take Tabby and Graham to court. I don't want to do that. I didn't want to take Ken and Leah to court. I mean, by the time I went to your house trying to find a lawyer and start a GoFundMe, you know, they were supposed to pay me back on December 8th of 2017. I didn't even go to your house until the 26th, and they literally had to assault me and gang up on me to get me to do that. And they didn't force me to. It wasn't their suggestion. I went to your house on my own, but... Like, am I wrong, or is Federal the quickest straight shot from between where you used to live and Ken and Leah's house? And they tried using that to pretend like I was stalking Natalie too, just because I was walking to your house. Because I posted it. I posted what I was doing on Facebook. They tried pretending that I was trying to freak her out. Like, see? Obviously she was fucking spying on my Facebook. Obviously. I was trying to get these people to stop while they were playing victim. You know? And I'm not the one that put that shit on there. That fucking judge is. The very same judge. Like, I was trying to take him to court because it's illegal for that shit to be on there, and it was criminally negligent of him to have that on there. And he was allowed to prevent me from going to 2 other court dates and held court without me, and then pretends like it's alright and like I didn't make any fucking effort. And literally, all of that stuff that I was doing was to try to get a goddamn day in court. And I'm not screaming at you, Miss Peaches. I'm fucking frustrated.
I know you are. I'm not taking it as you're attacking me. I'm taking it as you're venting.
I know.
And I'm listening.
I know. I don't care if everyone hates me as long as the truth comes out. I don't. If the truth comes out, it helps to keep you safe. It helps to keep the boys safe. It helps to keep Tabby safe. Most of the people that I was in contact with that were Facebook groupies, they were using stall tactics. They were wasting my time. Like one woman, she even pretended like she was going to be my lawyer, but she didn't do a goddamn thing. That's Katie Cahill. I exposed her for a reason. She was full of shit. She typed nice stuff and pretty stuff, but that's stuff that needed to go to the fucking police. And she claimed that she would, and you know, she didn't. She never made any effort to do that. She said, I'm sorry, I don't have the time. I'm like, you know what? That's the thing, is that you have wasted hundreds of hours of my time in typing. And she has. I mean, literally, I've probably typed to her for close to at least 100 hours. Not to mention answering questions on her Natalie Bollinger page. And she had one prior to that. And those very same fucking cronies and crooks that fucking pulled shit on me, pulled shit on her. I'm trying to get my story written out, but I'm having severe panic attacks from not seeing my loved ones, and that's literally what all this is about, not being able to see my loved ones. And then everything they did to help was to separate me from my loved ones and separate me from evidence of what's going on. And I've had a real sneaky suspicion about Alyssa Rainwater for a long time. Because she kept on making her word, and then when it was time to keep it, she'd break it. Like, she knew that the important part was making a police report. But she didn't get involved until after I was already in jail. And her mom had been involved for months before that. She was going to make a report. I'm going to have the courts check to see if she really did have warrants out. I don't really believe anybody anymore, Miss Peaches, because so many people pretended to be my friend and pretended like they were trying to help, and they didn't. They did exactly the opposite. I'm going to tell you, though, I believe most of these people deserve ass whoopings. I'm just not willing to give it to them. I mean, almost everybody that... Nearly all of these people said they'd whoop somebody's ass over doing the things that they did. All of these people wanted to get pissed off that I showed the truth when they wouldn't. Or couldn't. That's the thing, Miss Peaches, is that without an honest day in court, I don't get to see my loved ones, and without getting to see my loved ones, my life isn't worth living. You know?
I see what you are saying.
I'm gonna try to get a hold of Aunt B. She probably isn't gonna answer me. I had a panic attack at her because it's been a year and a half. She wants to live, but she's dying. I want to die, but I'm still alive. It's so fucked up. But they all got stuff to live for.
Maybe you guys should, like, trade somehow.
I'd love to. I'd go back and trade with... No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. Knowing what Natalie's family's like, I wouldn't wish that on her ever again. I think that she got what she wanted. She was suicide over her parents. When I met her, she was already scarred up one arm and down the other. But just like with most of y'all when you were kids, I tried to scare her away. Tried to get her to stay away from me, her and her sister both. Maddie I made an exception for because her dad beat the holy fuck out of her for being a lesbian, and I felt bad for her. And Officer Ramos and Officer Paddock told me, you know, they had as much right to be there as I did because it was public. And that was specifically about Maddie Boa, believe it or not. I love you, Miss Peaches. I love Graham. I love Tabby. I do. But what they did to me is not something you do to somebody that you love. You don't tell somebody that you love them and then do what they did. I mean, I literally paid Graham to try to keep record of things with his own two eyes. I didn't pay him to lie. I didn't pay him to cheat. I didn't pay him to steal. I paid him to observe. And I literally paid him for those services he didn't provide. He said that he would, and then he didn't. And yeah, I'm pissed off at them both because it did cost me close to $2,000 to stay there. I mean, I did everything that I could to try to get things done while that asshole is screaming nonstop in the background. Not literally nonstop, I can't say that. Josh was not screaming nonstop. He was just screaming enough that I tried not to make videos unless he was gone. And you know, when he was gone, I actually calmed down quite a bit and was able to save evidence. So I wasn't making videos. I only make videos because I can't function well enough to do anything else. It needs to be documented. People need to see it. They need to know what's going on. I mean, there's people in Chapel that are pissed off right now because the very same officers that refused to take a report from me, they refused to take a report from at least 6 other people in town. The difference between these other people in town and my case is that them refusing to do their jobs in these other cases didn't result in someone getting killed. Miss Peaches? Do you have a computer that works yet?
Kind of.
I have 3 computers. 2 of them are chock full of evidence. I don't know if you can text me your address, because I won't remember it. And I'll send you my computers. You guys can use my computers. You can see all of the mean shit that I said, all of the mean shit that I did. I'll give you the access to my Facebook so you can look at that. I'll give you access to my YouTube so you can take a look at that. And I'll sign a piece of paper so that it's legal for you to do so. I know that if I quit, nothing's going to happen, but I also know that I can't do it alone, and if other people quit and don't try, then nothing's going to happen either. I'm mad about the situations, and in some cases I'm mad at the people. In your case, I'm mad at the situation. I mean, I knew that you didn't understand. When Natalie disappeared, I knew that you didn't understand well enough to help, but I needed your help anyway. And you've learned a lot, Miss Peaches. I mean, it was late, you know, but it was, you still learned. You still tried. You know? Is there a time later I can call you?
Maybe later on in the night.
Do what?
Later on in the night.
Yes, ma'am. Would I be able to send you the evidence, Miss Peaches? It would have
I honestly don't know what I would do with it. Who do I give it to? Who do I make look at it?
Anybody. If you got a hold of the media and told them that I was with you and let them know what had happened and what we were trying to do and that we'd been trying for a while, I mean, the media might listen to you, Miss Peaches. I mean, you're a mother, you live in a house, you hold a job, you're an upstanding citizen. You're not perfect, but you're a good damn mom. You know, most of these people I'm pissed off at are good parents. Not all of them, but Tabby's a good parent. She's not the best, but she tries. Danica's a shitty parent, though. That's straight up. Miss Shelley's a shitty parent. Rose is a shitty parent. Ted is a shitty parent. Miss Peaches, Natalie might have had a worse family than me. She just wanted them to be happy, Miss Peaches. Anyway,
They're not the kind of people that could just be happy.
Do what?
Those aren't the type of people that could just be happy.
Right. They have to be hurting other people or they're not happy. I know. My mom's that way. My dad's not. My dad's really not that way intentionally. He's just dumb as a fucking stump and thinks that he's 100% right 100% of the time. People don't look back and realize that I told everything that I fucked up on. I told the things that I got wrong. And I also explained why. I mean, if there's 30 people telling you something and 10 of them are supposed to be related to Natalie, and then you come to find out that it's not true later on, like, you made decisions based on what those people said because you wanted to believe them. But Natalie was right about the things she said about her family. She was right about her mom and her mom's opinions. She was right about her sister. She was right about it. She was. The things that she said her mom would think, her mom thought. So she knows her family as well as I know mine. I knew the fucked up things my mom was going to do and the fucked up things my dad was going to do, and I told people what they were going to do. People are like, well, don't you have family? I'm like, no. I mean, shit, I called my dad 4 times before he finally answered the phone. I called him in February of 2018. I called him in the summer of 2018. I called him right before I went to jail in August. And I called him in December of 2018. He didn't answer till December of 2018. And he knew a lot of information that I didn't know. Like, well, not a lot of information I didn't know. My mom told me that the detectives told her that I didn't kill Natalie within 2 days of Natalie disappearing. But they didn't release that on the news. They kept on investigating me, believe it or not. The amount of money that they wasted on me was in the millions, Miss Peaches. That's your taxpayer dollars. And, you know, that right there should raise some red flags. Clearview, where I was assaulted, they were in trouble for, and you can see this on YouTube, they were in trouble for taking people with insurance for longer than they should have to get more insurance money. And when they got in trouble for that, they started just taking every single hobo and drugging the fuck out of them. When I was in there, most of the people in there were homeless. A few of them were made homeless because of their stay there. Anyway, I'm gonna let you go, Miss Peaches. Be safe, alright?
Alright, you be safe too. I love you.
I love you. I'll call you later. Bye.
Alright, bye.